Welcome back to Lost Legacies. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
These are dark, mysterious voices because we're talking about a dark, mysterious episode.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say right off the bat, Sam. Well, actually, I don't know what to say right off the bat because, I don't think this was a bad episode, but I didn't have fun. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It might be a stretch to say it was a good episode. I don't know.
Depends on your definition of good. And I don't know how much you like to endure pain.
True.
Or watch people in pain.
Very true.
How masochistic are you? And I think that's
a good point.
That'll gauge how good this episode is for you.
I'll say this. Out of the Charlie episodes that we have got in this whole show, this might be the better one.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Right? I mean, all his episodes so far, he's only had 2 flashback episodes before this one.
Mm-hmm.
And each time it felt like we got nothing new. There was nothing new added to a story. This one was interesting because I think this is the first one that didn't address his heroin addiction. At least in the flashback. In the island, everyone thinks he's using, but
yeah,
we don't know if he is or not. We're led to believe he's not.
Well, no, it's mentioned because
he says he's not.
Well, his brother asks him if he's using.
No, I'm talking about on the island. We don't know. From what we, the audience, have seen, it doesn't look like he is, and he continues to say he doesn't. But everyone else does. Everyone else thinks he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely in the flashbacks, there's references that he's using drugs, but it's not an issue. Like he doesn't seem like an addict or anything like that. But it's really it's like all his relationships and everything else in his life that was affecting. And this is a really good way to do it. I did enjoy his flashbacks this episode. I just didn't really like the on island stuff, particularly with him.
Yeah.
It was weird in a very lost way. And I want to go deep dive more into that, but there's no fun, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, Matthew. So to break it down, what episode are we talking about here?
Oh, I completely forgot. We're talking about season 2, episode 12, Fire Plus Water. After experiencing several surreal dreams, Charlie becomes convinced that baby Aaron is in danger and that he's the only one who can save him. Meanwhile, everyone else thinks that Charlie's using heroin again.
Yeah, that's the gist. I don't know what more we have to talk about.
Well, I think the easy part would be like we usually do. Let's talk about the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Set up right off the bat with a surrealist. Oh, I've told you, dude. This is my reoccurring thing. My R's. A surrealist lost dream.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his brother, they're opening Christmas gifts. All of a sudden, they're adults, and his brother's in a diaper. Turns out his dad's a butcher. Of course he would be. And he wants him to learn a trade. The mom's putting all this pressure on him that he's the musical genius who's going to help them escape their life of, I don't know, poverty. I don't know. They didn't really look poor, but I don't know that situation. Maybe it's to escape the father. I
could be.
Don't know. But yeah, and then that kind of just leads into his other flashbacks of essentially him dealing with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
His brother is using again. That's the words Charlie used. So Liam apparently kicked the drug and then got back into it. And Liam missed his daughter's birth. He gets kicked out by his wife. Charlie is working on music again in a song that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really dug the piano song he was singing. And I'm 99% sure it's actually Dominic Monaghan singing.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Yeah, because I know he's I don't know if he ever did a band or what, but I know he's a musician. I know he's played some stuff, but yeah, like it was a nice surprise because we always see Charlie just like playing with guitar and stuff, but the only real music we see of Drive Shaft is You All Everybody.
Yeah.
Which we don't escape this episode because we experience it again as they totally sold out, Sam. This is like the peak of selling out.
Mm-hmm.
We find out like they're in some bad money trouble and they're doing a diapers commercial.
Yep.
And they're dressed as babies in diapers, dancing in a giant like crib. And yeah. Visually, there was a lot to enjoy in this episode because it was just so crazy. But yeah, I mean, I guess the real gist of the flashbacks was that everything in Charlie's life, there's all this pressure on him to like be the hero, to save his family, to keep everyone together. And drugs is slowly ripping it all apart. And then towards the end, we find out that Liam's finally taking responsibility for his life. He's finally going to go. He wants to move to Australia. He's going to get a job, go through rehab so he can be there for his family. And in doing so, he sells everything, including Charlie's piano that he got as a Christmas gift as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was heartbreaking, man.
And it sucks too because Liam is coming at it from like, I have to do what it takes for my family. And he takes off and Charlie yells at him from the street, but I'm your family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, it's that line that like people see like family is this one thing. And, you know, they just, I guess, yeah, whatever. Like they block out the other thing or they forget the other thing. Like their definition of family or whatever has been rewired and it doesn't include for in this case it doesn't include Charlie. And that sucks.
Yeah. So from brother to brother, I need to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the married one out of the two of us.
Yeah.
So when you have kids, is this podcast like your heroin? Are you going to have to kick the podcast to go be with your family? And just leave me here talking in the dark to myself, podcasting alone? I don't want that. And I'm sure our listeners don't want that either.
Look, I don't.
That's not a no.
You caught me completely off guard, and I hate you for this. Okay, look.
Some say that's what I do best.
Yeah, that is what you do best. This is what all brothers do best. Okay, look. That we're nowhere near the point of my wife and I getting ready for children. You know, like we're nowhere near that point. That being said, that doesn't mean that like stuff won't happen, and like anything can happen. Life finds a way. But I do believe this. One, I would tell everybody, preferably, hopefully at the same time, let everybody know, hey, like this is thing that's happening. And then two, more importantly, for the podcast, I would let you know and be like, all right, dude, we got to crank these out. We got to boom, we got a episode a day, record another day, episode one day, recorded the next day. Like we got to do that.
Maternity leave.
Yeah, exactly. So I can be on a maternity leave. And yeah, so that the podcast won't go anywhere. And yeah, we might not be watching stuff for a while, but that way, there's no shortage of episodes for our dear viewers.
I'm going to tell everyone, tell the family, everyone's going to be laughing and cheering and celebrating. I'm going to be off in the doorway, smirking. My job here is done. I'm going to walk away alone, just like Coach Bombay in Mighty Ducks 3.
Oh my God.
My job here is done. Until I come back for the Disney Plus series. What's it called? It's
I
not
don't
the
know.
Mighty Ducks, right?
Yeah, it is.
It is, but they're not the
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks.
I thought they were.
No, like the Mighty Ducks is like franchise team now. They're like the bad guys in this one.
Oh, what?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. They're franchise. So now Coach Bombay is starting this new like young team who have to take on the corporate Ducks.
Oh,
It's
geez.
basically like the first movie.
So it's the first movie,
Yeah.
just as a show.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Which is clever because I mean, after that movie, Mighty Ducks got franchised, man.
Yeah, we had that weird Mighty Ducks cartoon. You remember that where they were like superhero? They were like anthropomorphic ducks.
Mm-hmm.
And they turned into like superheroes, but they were still a hockey team. Yeah.
Yep.
This show is weird.
Know what else was weird?
This episode of Lost
that we're supposed to be talking about.
I know. Well, like you glossed over like you glossed over like the second portion of that first dream where Charlie is playing the piano and plays the piano and like baby Aaron is like somehow in the piano.
Yeah.
He's looking for help and then the piano gets carried out to sea. And then it happens again in another dream where like Aaron's crib gets taken out to sea and then Charlie sees like Claire and his mom as angels.
I guess like that's why I didn't bring it up because like the flashbacks stand alone on their own and it was pretty solid. It also, before we jump into the dreams, it also kind of gives an understanding of why Charlie blames his brother for his addiction.
Right.
Because one, he did kind of start using because he was dealing with his brother, but then his brother did like pretty much ruin everything and sold the piano and all that stuff. Ruined his shot, his second shot.
Basically like destroyed Drive Shaft and then like took away Charlie's like the one way Charlie could like write music that he knew how, so like I can see definitely how like that is the impetus for Charlie's downward spiral into heroin addiction. So
and
like
he still needs to take responsibility, but it's now we understand why he says that, why that's his mindset.
Yeah, like the context really is key. It's like I can definitely see why you would blame your brother for that, and especially when we saw Charlie's brother in his first flashback, like at the end of it, like we can see, like Liam
works out.
It works out for him. Like he's got the family now, he's got a job, he's happy, but then it's like, dude, like what about your brother? You have to have some sympathy for that because you are in part also responsible for this.
Yeah. It puts first episode into a different context now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that stands alone. That was great. That's what made this bearable because I really, really loved Charlie's flashbacks and I love Dominic Monaghan. I finally felt like they actually gave him something to like, stick his teeth into as an actor. And then mixed with all these flashbacks, we get these weird ass dreams. And Charlie's also kind of losing it during the day because he's like daytime hallucinating the same stuff, and it's all basically leading him to believe Aaron's in danger. He's in trouble. And then he even goes to talk to Mr. Echo. And he tells Mr. Echo what's happening. And Mr. Echo, he doesn't really understand the context. He's like, oh, I think your dreams are telling you something, yada, yada. The baby needs to be baptized. Okay, makes sense. But then the way things go, even Echo was like, this isn't me, bro.
Yeah. Like that wasn't what I meant. This is out of context.
Yeah. So just to like jump ahead, because why not? That's the kind of episode this is. Charlie ends up starting a big old fire to distract everyone, which also may have burned down Mr. Echo's trees. I don't know.
I think it did.
Yeah, right. There's that one shot of him kind of looking at everything and stuff, but it's all distraction because he tries to steal Aaron and he's going to baptize him, which he's not even. Charlie can't baptize. There's a lot of loose interpretations, cut corners.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really baptize someone unless you're a priest or something like that. So Charlie wouldn't have been able to really do it anyway.
Yeah.
But then it leads to this big confrontation on the beach, Claire's yelling at him. And she's like, "You're hurting me," and all this stuff. And he finally he actually like sees what he's doing. On this whole episode, he's been back and forth with John. I really liked John in this episode because he's kind of has like the no BS anymore. I mean, it's just fragments just of this episode all over the place. John takes all the Virgin Mary statues. He even brings up that he gave Charlie a choice, but now that was his shot. Now John's making the choice for him, and like also there's like this weird jealousy that Charlie has because Locke is friendly with Claire. It's just, I feel like there's so many ideas for the character of Charlie. They didn't know which way to go.
Yeah.
They wanted an addiction. They wanted maybe like this crisis of faith. And then like this jealous non-boyfriend thing. Like it was just, I feel like they could have cut a lot of that and just simplified like one good idea to tell Charlie's story. But yeah, then John beat the crap out of Charlie at the end. I'm like, good, finally, he deserved it.
Yeah, he deserves it, but then it's also like Charlie doesn't learn anything.
No, he doesn't.
Because he still feels like he was in the right. What he did was right. He had his justifications, but he doesn't tell anybody anything because he also lies to everybody.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I swear, like he tells Locke straight up, yeah, Mr. Echo and I burned all the statues. Locke's like, all of them? Yeah, all of them. And then what happens? Locke finds the 5 other statues and he's like, what the hell, dude? Yeah. And then like, he doesn't tell Claire, like he just rushes into things and he panics and he's like, oh, Claire, I need to talk to you. And Claire's like, obviously set boundaries. Like, dude, don't want to talk to you. Like, can't like, it's this weird. Yeah. Like it's this weird thing. And it's like, and I don't know where it comes from, like he has these dreams and that's sort of what propels him to like do like go on this route, but it's also like what, like why now?
And I think by the end of this episode, by the time we get through his flashbacks, you see like, oh, Charlie's looking for a family. He's looking for something to protect, kind of like Jack. He's looking for something to fix. So that makes sense. The problem is we've gone 1.5 seasons of this show without knowing that.
Yeah.
So none of it makes sense. And this big reveal wasn't even a real big reveal. It's like, okay, I kind of understand his motivations, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I could tell the birds outside, they weren't really digging this episode either.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it for the Charlie story this time. Mr. Echo does end up baptizing Claire and little Aaron. Like, okay. So that was a nice little moment. Again, it's not how baptisms work, but I get it. It's for Hollywood.
I mean, Mr. Echo's a priest.
Well, he can baptize Aaron, but you can't baptize an adult. They have to go through like actual process of trying to learn and wanting it. I'm speaking very vaguely because I don't know all the process, but that's why that's why I
don't know either.
Well, that's why kids are baptized as kids.
Yeah.
As an adult, like you got to go to class because there's certain things you got to learn and there's things, it's your mindset for it.
Yeah. And, I think it's also just like, look, this is crash course, like island survival baptism. Like it's okay. Like stuff happens, and
but I also like the reasoning because he was telling Claire about what baptism is. And what she took away from it is if something happens, I forgot the dialogue, but to sum it up, once they're both dead, will they be reunited? And it's like, no, you both have to be baptized. So that's why, and that's when Echo says like, but I can baptize the both of you. So what she took away from the story was like, I don't want to be separated from my baby. And I thought that was really sweet. So that's why she wanted to go through with it to protect him. But then she realized I can get this too. So we'll be together.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great. That was a great moment for Claire. So she still hasn't really got much to do this season or last season other than get kidnapped.
Mhm.
Like she's constantly there going through these cool little moments, but storyline wise, she probably has the least development out of everyone.
Yeah.
Especially because Emily DeRaven was like a guest star for most of season 1.
Mhm.
She wasn't even main cast. So what else happened?
I mean, we got a nice Hurley Libby moment this episode.
Oh yeah, Sawyer's giving Hurley some advice on the rules of love, and I like it. He's just like a schoolboy, like kind of messing around with him, and he even calls him Jabba. And I love how Hurley's just like, dude, whatever, he just lets it like slide, but he's like, you gotta do something about it, and like Sawyer's walking away. Hey, Libby. And she looks and it's just Hurley sitting by himself. It's like,
and he
oh,
just
man.
like waves at her. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about their little moment together.
Yeah. I mean, I really like it. She's doing laundry in the hatch. And yeah, they're talking, they're hanging out. Hurley's there, like helping her fold her clothes or whatever. And then she asks him, she like holds up the bikini. She's like, I found this. It's like, what do you think? And Hurley doesn't say anything. And she's like, when a woman asks your opinion about something like this, like they're looking for some validation. And then she tries it on, like right in front of him.
And he's like, awesome.
Yeah. Looks awesome. And she's like, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very it's awkward, but it's sweet because I don't know. Yeah. It was just great. And Hurley just has like that little smile at the end. He's just like, score. Like, oh, Hugo.
There is a moment though, like, I mean, I can't say I caught. I mean, it's there. It's in the dialogue, but he kind of just stops and he looks at her, and she's like, "What?" And he asks, "Like, do I know you from somewhere?"
Oh yeah.
And then she just kind of pauses and like she brings up, she's like, I saw you on the plane and all that stuff. But it was just an interesting little moment that he feels like he knows her.
Well, she also says like, I don't think I would forget running over somebody's foot. Yeah, because he like ran over her foot, I think.
That's right.
Trying to get onto the plane. He stepped on her foot, I think. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that was the end of season 1. Like that, his whole flashback to get on the plane.
Yeah, to get on the plane.
What else is going on this island?
Ana Lucia and Jack have a moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he's helping her, like, I don't know, build a shelter closer to.
And she literally asks him, "Is he hitting that? Are you hitting that?" I'm talking about Kate.
Talking about Kate, yeah.
I like his response. No, I'm not hitting that. She's like, okay. We're like, there's some tension there.
Yeah.
Ana Lucia and the Doc.
Yeah.
Hurley and Libby. And then the ever always and 5 ever, Kate and Sawyer.
Yeah. 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 Other than that, that's kind of it. That was the episode.
I will say at the end, Jack talks to Charlie, and you can tell he doesn't really learn his lesson. Blah 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 blah. But I think what I was really missing from this episode was more people involved. This crazy stuff is happening. Charlie straight up was hallucinating in the day. He's sleepwalking and stealing babies in the middle of the night, not knowing it. It's like he should know enough that like something's wrong.
Yeah.
This is trippy even when I was on drugs, but I'm not now. So this is really crazy. I just wish like Jack would have intervened earlier in the episode at some point, or someone else. Like, I don't know. It's just,
it is this weird thing of like, we're just going to let this guy keep doing this. We're just going to let Charlie continue to bother Claire when she specifically time and again keeps saying no. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you around right now. And it's like, why?
And Locke's like the only one doing anything about it. Kate a little bit, but still, like everyone's just kind of like, oh, blah blah blah, head in the sand.
Yeah. Oh, we're just gonna, we're off doing our own thing, on this island. And it's like, look, guys, like I thought we would learn our lesson by now of like when one of our own is struggling or needs help, we should help them. Or we should like sit them down and be like, hey, talk to me, man. What's going on? Nobody talks in the show. And that's what gets me.
Yeah. I mean, that's the majority of TV right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like also like that, that's life, people don't talk to each other.
See, I don't blame the characters, the first time stranded on an island. So I'll cut them some slack.
Yeah.
The real culprits of this episode were the freaking writers.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many things had to go wrong for this episode to happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For Charlie to be sleepwalking to steal a baby, hallucinating, like just so many things happened in this episode. I'm like, so many things had to not have been done or conveniently left out of this episode just to allow this story to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You want to know where I first clocked it that this episode was going to be in trouble? Not mind you, with the surrealist sort of dream that Charlie had at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It was when we go to the first flashback and Charlie sees the little baby in the maternity ward.
Mm-hmm.
And who walks up to Charlie? His freaking sister-in-law, who just gave birth. I'm sorry, this woman just shot a baby out of her, and she's up walking around. Her hair's all done, not a care in the world. Yep. It's like,
but Sam, they explained it away because he has the line of dialogue. What are you doing up? You should be sleeping. And she says, I couldn't sleep. Where's Liam? That explains it all.
Yeah, you know what? Men. That's how I knew the episode was written by men, and it was going to be a bad episode, or at least a poorly written one. And it showed. In
they don't understand how babies work,
or pregnancy,
or baptisms.
Yeah.
A
complete misunderstanding of babies and baptism.
All right, so MVPs this week.
I mean, I'm just gonna give it to Dominic Monaghan, mostly just because he finally got to do some interesting stuff. And he really sells this performance, even though the writing isn't where it should be for his character.
But
yeah, he acts his ass off, and it's a great job. Like, I feel for Charlie, and now at the end of the episode, he's doing his like pulling the hoodie up, gonna do our moody Kylo Ren phase. You just don't understand, Mom and Dad. It's not a phase like that. Like, yeah. I'm about it. I'm interested to see where he goes, but again, I don't think I'm interested in seeing his episode.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna give it to Terry O'Quinn.
All right.
It's been a while since he's been an MVP. I think. I don't know. It's probably just 2 episodes ago. Who knows?
I think it's been a while. Yeah.
But I really like the way he interacted with Charlie this episode. I like seeing that stern side of John Locke. Not manipulating at all, just serious, just like, nope.
Yeah,
it's gotta be done. And he was like, he has the remaining statues in the gun cabinet, and he's changed the combination on the lock. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's MVPs. What about theories? Predictions, foresights.
Well, yeah, I do kind of think that Charlie's going to kind of become this like moody, piece of crap. It's going to be angsty to everybody. But I also think he's also going to be like this weird, like angel over people's shoulder, at least angel over like Aaron's shoulder. He's going to like swoop in and do something like, I don't know, guardian angel style. He's just going to be a moody guardian angel. I'll just say that.
Christopher Walken, sent from heaven above
to save your soul.
I'm glad we got through with that, because now we can talk about a recent movie just came out, Sam. So in our post Lost episode, Tell me what you watched this past week.
Oh, Suicide Squad.
And
It was good. I liked it. Look, I got feelings about it, you know? And what it boils down to is like, yeah, I think it was fun. Miles better than the movie we got in 2016. This was the movie we should have got in 2016. But yeah, it was fun. I think there are just some narrative choices I disagree with. And I don't know. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Fireside chat now. We're getting in. We're getting deep. We're this close to doing ASMR about Suicide Squad. That would actually be really gross to do an ASMR of Suicide Squad. But here's the thing. We are in this odd era of not even film criticism anymore. It's not film criticism anymore. It's just arguing for argument's sake. And anytime a comic book movie comes out, it feels like everybody loses their mind. It feels like everybody forgets how to watch a movie. And unfortunately, that's not even limited to comic book movies anymore. That's just like the big tentpole movies that like people are going to watch. Like, oh, you got to see this movie. And it's like, I don't know why, but everybody's just so divisive about everything. It's like, look, I don't think the Suicide Squad was the best DC movie of all time. I don't think it's the worst either. I think it's just a fun movie. I think it's just good. I can think a movie is good and then also critique it on the things that I didn't like and the things that I very much didn't like. So there's that. Did I have fun? Absolutely. The movie's fun. It's a thrill ride. You know, it's fun. It's James Gunn. I like James Gunn. It's all, it's all peaches and cream. What irks me is people are praising James Gunn for doing all this stuff and saying like James Gunn saved the DCEU when he's literally not really doing much other than building off of what Kathy Yan did for Birds of Prey. And everybody shits on Birds of Prey. Everybody's like, Birds of Prey is not good. It's not a good movie. You know, Birds of Prey, that movie's mid. Like,
yeah.
What? How, do you listen to yourselves talk? This is like, it's irritating. All right, I'm this close to just becoming an old man on a porch saying, "Get off my lawn." It's just that I'm sick of it. I'm sick of like this thing getting praised, this thing not getting praised. Like we're gonna put all of our eggs in this basket. And it's like, yeah, like this dude saved like this movie franchise, and it's like that's not even what it's about. Like, come on. I don't know. It's complicated. I'm so tired about talking about comic book movies, which sucks because I love comic book movies. You know, I love these movies. I can find a lot of stuff to enjoy about the DC movies. I like a majority of the Marvel movies. I'm so sick and tired of talking about. Fortunately, I'm sick and tired of talking about movies because it feels like a chore. Everything feels like a chore now. And it's like, oh, all right, I'm going to talk to you about this movie that I enjoyed. But first of all, did you like it? Okay, cool. Did you also happen to like these other 5 movies so that I know in advance what kind of conversation we're going to have? That's what it feels like. You know, I need to know what your stance was on The Last Jedi before I drop any sort of, you know, criticism or critique or whatever about a movie that came out this year, you know? And that feels weird, but that's where it's at. So yeah, that went off the rails really fast. I apologize. I just have a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah, I just feel like you care too much, bro.
I can't help
it. Yeah, man. Like, first mistake is, well, I mean, like, I get it. You know, love movies. You want to talk about it, so you naturally go seek out places and people to talk with. I don't do that. My life is so much more happier because I stay off of film Twitter, man.
Well, here's the thing, bro. I would come to you to talk about movies and be like, hey, I love this movie. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it. Except you don't watch freaking movies. You like watch like 2 movies that come out in a year, and then
My
5
problem,
years,
Sam,
you don't care at all.
I don't care at all.
Jeez. My problem? I don't care. But your problem, Ronnie, is you care too much.
There you go, bro. You see, you're on the film Twitter, you're on Letterboxd and all this stuff. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm gonna put what I want out there and let people fight over it.
Well, yeah, I do too. But then if some asshole comes on my page and starts saying like that movie actually this movie, no, it's not even like a tough guy voice. It's just like, actually, that movie sucked. Like, cool. Didn't ask, bro. Get your opinion on my like, and of course, like you're putting your opinion out there. So, like you should be adept to criticism. Look, I want to put a thing out there and, just once not have people talk crap. And yeah, maybe that's a little bit too much to ask. But
it's not gonna happen. Let's see. We're going to need what franchise could bring about world peace? And by world peace, I just mean like the online community.
None of them,
right?
None of them.
Yeah.
No, like none of them. One,
if it's not Star Wars, it's not going to be anything.
We broke apart Star Wars, dude. Like as soon as people were like, J.J. Abrams is a god and I will die protecting his vision, and then just like totally just dismiss Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, which J.J. Abrams also created. It's like, whatever. It's like, as soon as that happened, it was like, yeah, that's it. Like there's no way for us to collectively come together for that
and the prequels, but it was like really after Force Awakens and between Last Jedi where fans just started like, they don't like Star Wars anymore. They just like bitching about it.
Yeah. Star Wars for I feel like for everybody, like Star Wars is like a collection of like this one thing, and anything that's not that one thing, it's not Star Wars. I don't like it. Get it out of here. And it's like, that's not how this thing works. Like, you can still love those movies. Like, look, you can still love those movies and not mess with anything else. Do that, please do that. But like, come on, guys. Like,
I get it. I mean, Star Wars is doing it to themselves. Just the way they're running like that franchise. It's like Kevin Feige and Marvel did something really incredible and special with the MCU, and everyone wants the same thing. They want some of that pie, but they don't want to put in the hard work. They don't like, they're cutting corners, man, and they're just skipping around, and it's just like,
I mean, and that's why we get the DCEU as it is right now.
Oh, man, it's like shambles.
It's in shambles, and it's like, look, guys, like we should have taken a step back after Justice League.
Everyone's hoping that this Flash movie's gonna make everything okay because we're introducing multiverse. It's just gonna get crazier.
Like, yeah, it's just gonna get crazier. Like, you guys didn't even want to do anything for this, for like the Snyder cut. Like, you guys didn't, all of that. And it's like, like
Flashpoint just started as an idea, but now it's being used to like save this whole franchise. And I don't think it's all going to fall apart. It's going to be terrible. I do feel like this whole multiverse and Michael Keaton coming back and stuff, I don't have high hopes for it.
Oh, I don't either.
I think it's going to be bad, but I think what's going to be good about the DCEU is the other stuff, the ones that aren't relying or tying into all of that. Give us another Suicide Squad, Shazam, Black Adam, who knows? Like, I think they're going to be good popcorn fest. We'll see. There's like, crossing my fingers. I don't want any of them to fail. I've always been DC over Marvel any day. But these last 10, 15 years of movies, it's not even close, man. Like,
oh yeah, not even close.
Yeah. Like DC movies, they're like reading, oh, this reminds me of that one comic. The MCU is like, oh yeah, this reminds me of Marvel comics.
Mhm.
So, and I love them both, you know, and I want DC to do better, and I'm hoping we can, you know, give me something good.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
And that's not to say that like Marvel's gotten it right all the time, and that like
No, but they haven't got it wrong. They've had
they
some
have
bad movies.
they might not get it right all the time, but yeah, like they don't oh what am I trying to say? Essentially, it's like they set out to do the thing that they put on paper. Like
Yeah.
this was our thesis. This is what we did. We can we can disagree with that, and we can say like that's not accurate at all, or like I just don't like that. Like we can do that, but at least they still, for the most part, understand like the core of the characters or the core of like the comics that they're pulling from. They're able to recontextualize. I'm like, cool, that's great. Whereas with like the DCEU movies, I'm like, I feel like there's a misreading here, and we're just there. We just keep going. We just keep going. Like there's no time for a reflection or a pause. It's like, nope, here we go. We're going to do the thing. Here we go. Nope, we're going to do the thing. Here we go. It's like, and I guess that's fine, but then you can't then turn around and look at the return on the thing and be like, oh, well,
Then they're trying to course correct. Yeah.
We just know better than the fans. So, we're going to course correct and do this to appease them. And it's like, no, guys, like you're
all this tough love we're giving, it's directly at the studios.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
yes,
I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan, but I do have fun. Well, I have fun in most of his movies. I have fun in his non-superhero movies. You know, I just his superhero movies, they're just a little too, I'll say dark, but like I love dark stuff. They're not fun. That's my opinion. But like literally all the Zack Snyder movies that I like are his non-superhero ones. I'm like, dude, this is kind of cool. But so yeah, it's like all these feelings is coming straight for the studio heads. Just just lop them off. We need new studio execs at Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't mean physically kill them. I mean, professionally get them the hell out of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers used to be such a distinguished like film studio. Now it's just, it's the porta potties next to Paramount.
Yeah.
So give me a Paramount. No, I was gonna say give me a Paramount superhero universe, but anything that's not Marvel or DC right now is just like failing unless it's on TV.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Else is what's that Vin Diesel one? Bloodshot.
But yeah. I mean, like here, like, and here's the thing too. Like, it doesn't even like I don't even need like a competing superhero franchise. It's like I just need other movies. If you're gonna do a shared universe like movie setup thing, like cool, do it, but put in the work. Use the Marvel template and be like, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna introduce our characters, or we're gonna introduce our team in this one, and then we're gonna spread out. We're gonna do our thing. Like, don't try and just go for Avengers in movie 1 or 2 because that's not gonna work.
Yeah. That was the one single biggest mistake with the DCEU. They did. Yeah. They're like, we're going to jump into BVS, and that's going to lead into Justice League. And it's like, if they had taken the time to do all the other characters first, I think we would have avoided so much of this. And at the time, again, I try not to be hard on Zack Snyder, but this is going out to all those Zack Snyder fans. Everyone's like, no, he can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And now we see, no, he couldn't. One, mostly was because of the studios.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you see, you have to do the work. That's the only reason why the MCU is the MCU. Even regardless how you feel about those movies, they're like, that's one of the most successful film franchise in film history because they did the work. They made the mistakes early and they learn from them. And that's what Warner Brothers, they can't learn from it. They just keep doing the same damn thing and expecting different results.
Which is the definition of insanity.
Just definition of butthead, Sam.
Yeah. There's
so absolutely give me my damn Dungeons and Dragons shared universe. That's what I want.
Hey man, we're getting a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I don't know. And television show.
I don't know how any of that's gonna play out.
Oh, and guess what? Who's doing it?
Who?
Fucking Mount.
Oh.
I hope that's a good thing. I don't know. I'm a fan of Paramount Pictures because they're the only like production studio company people that still feel like the old classic system.
Yeah.
But not in the bad way, you know?
Yeah.
Like when you go to the Paramount lot, you feel like you're walking in old Hollywood. So if this D&D franchise stuff works, who's to say? Okay, this episode's already too long. We're tired, hungry. And that's why we're just letting out all our emotions on Warner Brothers and our listeners. So I'm going to leave you off with some hope.
Okay.
This past weekend, I went to a concert. Now, we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, God.
So I wasn't foolish enough to go to a concert surrounded by real people. No. I just logged on to Fortnite. And I went to the Ariana Grande concert. She literally takes you to heaven, Sam, where they start playing The Way featuring Mac Miller, and it hit just right. I was like, oh, okay. All right, Ari, I see what you're doing. Cool. But yeah, man, it was like 15 minutes of like mini games and like a pre-show because there was like different music and you're like flying this biplane and shooting these giants and all this crazy stuff. And then like all the players are just like knocked out and passed out and you have to heal each other. And it looks like the world is healing themselves. And that's when a giant Ariana Grande shows up and starts singing and doing her songs. And it was just a couple of songs and she's all Fortnite cartoonish looking and like it was fun, man. Like I just had fun. It was literally, I want to say right after I watched Suicide Squad on Friday, I'm like, this is a cool movie. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't the Ariana Grande concert. I loved it. It was fun. You can't replay it. It's like a weekend only event, but you can find the video on YouTube. Check it out on the Fortnite YouTube because they have like the full like 15-minute thing. Ariana Grande's YouTube just has like her parts, but the whole thing was fun. So yeah, you wanted hope? You got it. I guess we'll see everyone next time. Like, subscribe, rate, review, tag Ariana Grande. Maybe she likes Lost. Who knows? She seems kind of nerdy like that. She's in Fortnite. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, and use hashtag King Shark for Fortnite. I want King. I let you talk about Suicide Squad. I really dug it. I want a King Shark solo movie. I want King Shark and Ratcatcher 2 to have like a team up movie somewhere.
That'd be rad. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Man. I've never loved Sylvester Stallone more than I did in Suicide Squad. I loved it. So, okay. Cool, guys. We will catch you next time. Hit us up. Hashtag Lost Legacies. Until next time.
Get lost.